Hi, Cam. Jesus. All the way down to V is Vegas V QRSTUVW V. Okay, I guess we're fine. Holy fuck. It took me so long to fucking get here today. This infuriating. I am disgusted. A 10 hour VOD took 20, like almost 22 hours to fucking like render, and now I still have to upload it to fucking YouTube. I'm going to scream. I'm going to cum blood. Also, look at him all the way at the end there. Guess who that is? That's everyone's favorite, Dick Gumshoe. Ugh, King. Who's that? Who's that? Oh. Wow. Actual animations? Oh. This is an upgrade. Who are these people? It's him. It's Edgeworth. Oh my god, it's Jesus? Every single lawyer in this fucking series is a prodigy in their own right. So it's like, I feel like they're just giving out the title of prodigy. Whoa, animated sprites! Look at him. He's so sexy! Now kiss, say less. Sorry, I'm drinking my G Fuel, so I'm not saying anything. I'm not reading anything yet. Damn. Came back to his office after a month just to find a dead fucking body. Wow, I can't believe there's animated sprites. This is a huge upgrade. God, he's so sexy! Your Honor, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm gonna fuck him. You should have killed him. If you wanted to get away with it, you should have killed him. Yeah, I was gonna say that. He was like, no one gets away with murder in my office. And it's like, okay. Do you have a precedent for this? You have results? Show me. The question is, I forgot what the question was. I was gonna say something, and I don't even think it was gonna be like funny or anything. I was just gonna say something, and now I totally forgot what it was. What the heck? Huh. That's a little weird. I just looked at Discord because I had a couple like notifications, and I was like, so one of them is Me6, obviously, great, fantastic, don't care. The other one is from yesterday, when I had the podcast, but the podcast thumbnail, for some reason, is the same one as today's. Or is a different one from today's, actually. But it's also Miles Edgeworth. Weird. Seems a little sus to me. Seems a little weird. And the other one is just people asking if I want to play Among Us. Sorry, I'm gay. Okay. Hey, Mobile. Welcome. I know it's late for you, so don't hesitate to leave if you need to. This is 3 in the morning. He came back to his office at 3 in the morning and found a dead body. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. The gun's on the floor. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Oh, it's kind of crusty, though, low-key. Gumshoe! Gumshoe! Give me a second. It's Gumshoe! It's animated Gumshoe! Look at him! Give me a Sprite. His eyes are smaller. They changed it. I just loved it. Now we can see his little dummy little pixel body moving around. He would stand like that. I can't. I'm just too excited about this. I can't read things. Detective Gumshoe, please. It's them. A dynamic duo. Also, I like that my thing is an organizer, not a court record. Also, who the fuck is this? Is that the dead body? The dead body looked like a girl. Oh, he's stamping. He's stomping. Oh, he's so talented. It's a little crusty, though. It's a little crusty, but I think that's because of, like, the animation and stuff. So, hope it's not awful. I'll say. The culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. It's hardwood. Just sweep. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa! Sounds like you're really getting burned up over this whole thing. Over the wrong thing, maybe. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Meh. Ho ho! That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why, of all places, did the murder occur in my office? Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? Logic? Like the rapper? I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? Interesting. What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? Don't talk to Gumshoe about logic. He don't know that. He don't got the right neural pathways for that. By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. Oh, it's like Doodle God. That is the end result of using logic. He's like, I don't get it. First, I recall information through the logic button, and then connect them together. Now, to touch the logic button and recall the facts. Oh, he's so sexy. Oh, there's health for that. So if I try to connect the wrong things, I think I take damage. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. I love you, but no, you weren't. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Edgeworth picks up a key. He's just standing on the crime scene, staring at it, trying to think about it. Everyone else is like, yo, is that guy okay? Is he doing all right over there? I know he, like, just got back from, like, vacation or whatever, but, like, is he good? And then he just falls down dead, and they're like, is he good? Should we call someone? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Ooh, I'm excited to see investigation. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, so I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button. Oh, if you ever feel lost and you want to talk, just... Oh my god. Is Gumshoe my partner for the entire game? I'm going to scream. Hello? What do you have to say? You called, sir? Oh, I can present things to him, too. Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. The investigation's just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair. Ouch, that's rough. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective. Sorry, sir. It's okay. I love you. I'm gonna give you a little kiss on your cheek band-aid. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe. Of course, sir. Examine things by tapping them or by touching the examine button. By checking various things out, we get evidence and information. You can see the evidence we collected by touching the organizer button. For information and leads, it's the logic button. That's it. Great job, sir. Deductive reasonable is the way to go. It's called deductive reasoning, detective. Clearly, something you lack. Leave him alone. So I don't see an organizer button. Oh my god! Edgeworth running sprite. Edgeworth. Edgeworth running sprite. Edgeworth walk. Edgeworth run! Edgeworth butt! Edgeworth butt! Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, Edgeworth butt. Oh my god. Look at he. Edgeworth butt. Edgeworth butt. Edgeworth butt. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. Oh. I thought it was a girl because I thought he was wearing a skirt. I thought this was like a dress, and I thought that was like the skirt area. I thought those were just his bare legs. Oops. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. This man got shot in the dick. Are we all seeing this? He got shot in the PP. Nice cock, bro. Just kidding. There's blood all over his cock. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Thank you so much. Yep. And until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Edgeworth on that big brain shit. You gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Nice cock, bro. Just kidding, you don't got one. What do we have here? Hey, I think I see one of these before. It's a fucking wall. Oh. I was gonna roast the fuck out of them. Oh, God. It's a police badge, detective. You have one. Oh, hey! I had the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkadink. Let's take a look inside. Buddy, Faith! It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. So he knew something that somebody did not want to leak. Your files are all over the floor, sir, so pick them up. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. There's a body. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just, added cleaning to the list as a, weekend special. For about, half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? You leave him alone. I don't believe it. I packed those files on these shelves so tight that not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Oh, Gumshoe, you're so stupid. I love you. Watch out for the teacup fragments over there, sir. That killer is gonna pay. This tea set. Yikes, you're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. Well, look at him. Look at him. Oh. Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Oh, it's your trophy. The night of prosecutors, right? I think. Whoops. King of prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send us to the winning prosecutor, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. Unless it's Phoenix Wright, in which case, I demand only the utmost respect. I want him to think nothing less of me than perfect, because I yearn for that sweet man's touch. I yearn to father children with that foolish man, dressed in blue with his idiot spiky hair. Please, Phoenix Wright, fuck me. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself. That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime. Unfortunately for him, this monetary worth is tied directly to his worth for me. Well, it's a good thing my steel samurai doll was spared any harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of this show. What's it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai, Wario of Neo-Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai, along with a deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show gives it presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. Is that a cake? Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers? The ones that come with a cord attached every month like clockwork for you? Yup. Speaking of that, let's see what's on a card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy. Oh, Miss Irony. How painful are thy thorns. Oh my god, oh my god. It's Old Bag. Wendy. Isn't that the name of that old lady with a whiny voice that That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further. How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. I hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on my sofa. That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir. Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper at the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Trying to get a closer look at Fuck. I was trying to get a look at the thing that got shot down. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes. Talk about a contradiction. Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. It's the gun! What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model, I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. So it's probably, he was, Ouch! They even knocked over your chess set! I had it all set up, ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though, I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. Okay, let's do some logic. The revolver is his. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What do we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. As I always say, you gotta look real carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar or the X and Y arrows to zoom in and out to get at the nitty-gritty. To think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. If you take off before it's fired, everybody always ends up following your lead. To chase you down for a false start, detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place. Oh, Gumshoe, you are so stupid. It looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. Jim? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh! Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure. Just in a, bloodstained suit, pal. This guy's self-reporting. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Is he French? Portsman. Portsman is a decently American name, I think. Jacques Portsman. Jacques. Jacques is a French name. What the fuck is this guy? I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, so you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. I don't know what... he just looks like a dude. He doesn't look like he has an ethnicity. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not! I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal, and the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You got it all wrong. Oh, Gumshoe. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm just gonna make him distinctly American. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know? Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Don't touch me. A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir! I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. This is weird. That's weird. I should probably give them some space. That's weird. Why am I still examining the sofa? Oh. The info I've gathered, I seem to have picked up a few good leads. Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing. So now you're gonna do that thing you do with all that information, right? What are you babbling about? The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. You said that you could look at all of your leads and info by touching the logic button. Then you pick the pieces you want to connect by touching them and hitting connect. That's your way of investigating, right, sir? Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary. Okay, then how about I explain to you my logic next? That is even more unnecessary. Leave him alone. There we go. Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial? Prosecutor. Prosecutorial. I think it's prosecutorial. Your prosecutorial. They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. Who's he starting to sound like? Everybody knows this is what happens when you're a homosexual. Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it. The bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Did this motherfucker just say Eureka? Did this motherfucker really just turn to me and say fucking Eureka? Your Honor, this is a homosexual. This is a homosexual for sure. Miles Edgeworth is a homosexual who is so deeply in the closet that they spend their formative years hiding in his closet, just terrified out of his mind. And he never learned that nobody fucking says Eureka. This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? But, by the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. Secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you are imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Achoo! Achoo! Talk about dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I never knew there was a safe hidden back here. Well, if detectives knew about them, then they wouldn't be secret now, would they? Are there any other secret hidden things in this room? Even if there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them. So there's no, like, hidden camera around, right? And what if there was? Huh? No, it's nothing. Forget I said anything. Oh my god, he's been jacking off in the office. Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away? Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Hey, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. I got another logic. As I thought. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information that we have. I would say killer's goal and wipe fingerprints. I believe I've figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Well, now we know that it was a prosecutor then, no? How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. This picture's too important to mess up. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir. Okay, so that was that. Ouch. Oh, no, not that. I want to talk to this fool. Mr. Portsman, a word if I may. Jim, I swear I'll find your killer and bring them to justice. You wait and see. It'll be for the both of us. Now then, you wanted to talk to me about something? No. That's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation. What happens if I present him with... Huh? I feel like I've got a glimpse at a hidden side of Miles Edgeworth. There's a great deal you don't know about me. At least I hope so. Can I logic any of this? I don't think so. Signs of a struggle, motive, theft. And another handgun. Well, can I connect these two? Signs of a struggle and motive? See if that works. Ooh. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when a killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Get out of my way, loser. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it! Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done! Interesting. Those are... Rather interesting pattern of handprints. Kind of looks like Dad. So he was trying to get away, I guess, maybe? Because that looks like a left hand. But it's weird how he's holding it. Hi, Eve. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. Ugh. The bloodstains on a bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. Ugh. But you know I'm no good with blood, so I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. The victim's handprints. He must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot. There are prints on the floor, too. Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. Ah, that's a bullet hole. So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be launched so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. There's some blood on those books. I put them all back, just as they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. Okay. I wonder if there's anything that I can examine about this. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. I think it was gumshoe. Oops. In a sense, I suppose. See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. It's just gonna give me the body again. Yeah. Did I get any new logic or no? I don't think I did. Oh, another handgun, but... moved because he was in the killer's way. Were these thrown out? So if it's... Well, the interesting thing is that he, I think, was presumed to have been shot standing up. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. So the handprints say that he was standing. Or it was like, I don't know. That's weird. There's the blood pool. Some blood there. Some blood there. Some blood there. To A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. 3, A, B, C. 0A, 0B, 0C, 0D, 0E. A detective in this precinct and the victim. Why was he killed in my office? A high prosecutor with this prosecutor's office. It's my first time speaking with him. Logic just says that there was another handgun. That's it. Could there be another gun in play here? Mr. Portsman, a word if I may. Oh, Jim, your laugh, your smile. I'll never be able to joke around with you again. But don't you worry, Jim. I'll joke around enough for the both of us. You'll see. He's not listening at all. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Intriguing. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Okay, so I think it's that. Okay, I guess that was. There is clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sorry? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone has made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused... Oh. What is the faulty assumption that caused the problem with the bullet hole's position? The position of the body? No, we know it was moved, so I think it's the position of the handprints. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? I mean, it could just be the order of the files, honestly. Because those are 0. So it would be, what, 0, 1, or 0A, B, C, D, 0, A, B, C, D. So... I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah. You see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0. What are those doing all the way down there? After 1, 2, and 3. That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they're arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha! So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, gross. Oh! As I suspected. The bullet hole is now where it logically should be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith, and then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? Wow. Bing. This 204? Gumshoe? What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes. Indicative of criminal activity indeed. No, wait. There's gotta be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude, and there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Ooh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Might as well. Alright, first I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in the testimony every time, right? Correct. And at those times, I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Wow. So this is like court, but outside of court. Are there gonna be court sessions? Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out doing investigations too. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic, Detective Gumshoe. You stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding, and it will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. I hate this guy. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Rebuttal. You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jam? But Jim ain't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jacques and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no? Such a bit-crushed hold it. And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway. This guy's a fucking weirdo. Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? Hi, Mike. The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Talk shit about Gumshoe one more fucking time, I swear to God. Talk shit about my fucking boy one more goddamn time. It's gonna be on sight. I swear to God it's over for you. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. Do I have evidence for that? I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Let me press this last one first. Hold this! L. Hold this L. Are you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yup. Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. It looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputtering over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Not a clue, Mr. Portsman, in by presenting him with some evidence. One of the files that were written upon in blood was stolen by the culprit. I'm going to present this because these are O's, right? So they should have been up there with the other stuff. Oh, I love that sprite so much. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Heh, bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. Ha ha ha. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see it? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only a half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means... what exactly? What does that make his dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with this crime scene. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir! I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see! I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time! Well, Mr. Portsman. Ha 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 ha. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Meh. You win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? It will be me! Well, Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Ew. Ew. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? I hate him so much. Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? One other person. Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't! Oh no, oh no. Oh. I thought it was gonna be Wendy Oldbag. I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. That's why he was freaking out. Detective Gumshoe, sir. Maggie. Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see. And your point is? My point is that she very well could have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me, that's right, I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd had no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Another testimony? It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then. This is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him. Take your jacket off, whore. What other evidence do you have for that? Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Ha, a likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test just how bad a luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Her intent, from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then, are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses, why? What made you, what's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable, conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Then that means, yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, right? Or wasn't it? No, I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to his office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless, well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out, it's Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Haha, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? Interesting. So if I'm not on the case... then who am I here? What is my role? Because I don't think I'm allowed to just pop in and be a defense attorney. Damn, 4 in the morning. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then, what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Oh. Is that pain? That's definitely pain.
Looks like you're at quite the pitch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy? Is everything all right?
Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning. I'm finally at 154 pounds.
Congratulations. But I was asking about this hallway in this room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir.
A word of advice. Stay focused, or you may start to lose even more weight. Is that a threat? What is a basketball doing here?
It's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. This office.
1203, 1203, Hey, Maggie, whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsman's, sir.
So he's my new neighbor, I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas. What is a basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago?
So when and why is it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor? Alright, let's chat with Maggie. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case.
I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth.
I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once, I'd love to play with him. It sounds fun, But the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you were an acquaintance of the detective. She was under my supervision back when she was still in the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago, right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know! And just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Worry about Gumshoe, though. We all need to worry about Gumshoe. So, when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. So I got some logic. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? Nah, it's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key? What did you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key, it was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then, what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious! I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly, but since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yup, that's gotta be it. I can't even think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. The door is locked tight. But the old credit card trick won't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from?
That's a banger line right there.
Where'd you get that conclusion? The swap meet?
Gah. It's Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop.
I can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office.
But, you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood.
It's kind of majestic, too. Fits in really well with the ambiance at a prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these.
Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne. I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. What am I?
I mean, I don't see anything weird. Files in disarray, another handgun. Master key was stolen. And used the master key. These are very clearly together.
Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
What? No way, pal. I mean, sir.
You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Wow. Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. Come on. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look I was locking up, sir.
So, in actuality, you never did relock the door, then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly.
Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Yeah, the literal door?
There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
Huh? Oh, you know, you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir?
It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She opened a different door? But how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is, we need to examine these. The prints on the number plate. They'll tell us all that we need to know.
Everything? Really? Like what, sir?
Well, for example, and such as... Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles.
Oh, wow! That was amazing, sir. How'd you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, that's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... we need to examine these.
I thought he switched the number plates. My bad.
The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you. Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor, see where you can lift it from this, okay? So, what'd you find out?
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective.
Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob.
So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
Huh? I'm lost, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well.
You.
Take that. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean...
Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one.
Okay, while we're sitting here, I'm gonna dip real quick. I have to take a poop. I'll be right back. This is a fun game so far. I have returned from my journey into defecation. Woo. My eye was itchy. Ooh. This is definitely not good lighting. Damn it. What happens if I turn on the outside? Actually, no, I think it's fine. Sorry, I thought the squares, I thought these squares right here were my green screen acting up. I was sweating. What have we here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. It looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsmouth. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although, I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with his ball. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this. Yeah, so I get that. I don't think I can do anything about the carpet. We already noticed that. Noticed the ball, noticed that. And I think that that's gonna be it. Let's see. See if I can logic some things together. I cannot. Oh. Give me that poor favor. It's... isn't that a missing 0 series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So, what are these 0 files about, sir? I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. Who? Then that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know? You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on a stand. But it always ends the same way, me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning, naturally. Oops. Okay. See if Gumshoe has anything to say. Oh. Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Care to share? Oh, it's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portsman calls his partner Jim. And the detective in this Sunday night drama, All My Cops, is named Jim, too. I bet one of them is a big fan of that show. You seem to know a little something about it yourself. I take it you watch it, too. Of course! The tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. But it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have. Friendship, detective? I think you're mistaking it with pity. How can you say that, sir? After all we've been through, too. About Miss Bird. No way she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir. Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position. Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to it and touch the talk button. Then you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. When you want to ask about evidence, all you have to do is present it. After you choose what to show, touch present again, and off you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'd be surprised by what they say. Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one. Oh, just so you know, sir, you can show me evidence in the same way, too. I do believe it's time to get down to business and ask some questions of Miss Bird. Ignored again. Out of work. Congratulations, Eve. You are free for the day. What day is it? Oh, it's Monday. You're free for the day. Unfortunately, not for the week, but hopefully, you know, you've got a little bit of a break. Case is going pretty good. I just got back from the bathroom, as is customary for me. And, just trying to figure out where I'm going next, really. I was wondering about the investigation. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done. A real seasoned pro of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps. You know that you can always check out the really important spots in more detail, right? Yes. And if the area is too big, you can always use the arrow buttons at the bottom, right? Oh, but don't worry, sir. The arrows only show up when you need to use them to see more. I knew that as well. And when you think there's a contradiction or some unusual, try deduction. First, you line up your cursor with a suspicious looking area. Then touch deduce and choose your evidence. When you settle on a piece, you gotta present it. I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, detective. Well, if you can remember all that, then welcome to the world of pros. I dub you Ace Investigator. Class dismissed. And all I wanted was an update about the investigation. So this one's interesting. I'm just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. Well, let me go talk to Miss Maggie Bird. And I'm gonna present that. It's like talking to another gumshoe. What about that? Fuck. What about that? So, when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those 2 times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? I've already seen all this. What about the door? I've had to open Mr. Portsman's office up for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions, too. He's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it. To the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous, since I don't have even a single one. Don't say that, Maggie. I'll make a special God of the Month award just for you. Thanks. Thanks for trying, but I've already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you just isn't the same as getting a real reward, sir. Ugh. Fuck. Body, gun. Does she know anything about this? No. What about this? Okay, so now we know that the thing was moved. Basketball hoop. There are signs that it's been moved. Let me see if I can examine my door. Okay, I can. So this is what I was missing. Cool. 1202. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know? Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guide, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I know it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being a killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come with me, it's time to knock on truth's door. Knock, knock, bitch. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Don't throw the evidence. What the fuck? Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. He ran in and was just like, thunk. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through the unsightly, paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Ha ha. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karmo, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for is shutting the fuck up. Although that, too, will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on with evidence. I'd say it is. After all, there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Oh? And what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And? That's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Haha, alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door. I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. You would ask Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See? Miss Bird backs up my story.
Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
Ha! And how do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our doors, for example.
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room?
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building, which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Ugh. That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure.
I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he?
I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket, and Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here.
God, Edgeworth with the banger lines, dude.
I'm killing this first case. This case is fucking mine. That was a lie. Was that dramatic pause good? Did everybody like that?
What are you talking about? How was that a lie?
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note?
It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then where were you, and what were you doing? Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me.
Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence.
No way!
This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. Oh, fuck. I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? Huh, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time.
You're right. I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What do they have to do with anything?
Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Ah! Further, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me, and Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. And just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like, early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. Ah, but you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it.
Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner.
Give me your alibi, dumb fuck.
That's not suspicious? Yeah. Surely it is. This whole character, definitely not suspicious.
Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe.
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Hi, Kay. Oops. Oy. Yes, I'm very excited to have Gumshoe here. The guys down in Criminal Affairs said they saw him around 2 a.m. You see?
All of the evidence points to him being the culprit, so there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere.
Not that. Body was discovered at 2:05 a.m. Issue to the victim, believed in the murder weapon.
Um. Well. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with a culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. So, I think Maggie said that she had let him in at some point, like, during that time. So I don't think that this is a valid thing.
You are correct. It was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2.
Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2, and it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
It is as you say. However,
Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
it was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see it.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit.
Yup. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story.
Intriguing. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time. See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line, and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there, sir. Please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe!
A tearful separation. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic.
Files in disarray, Mr. Portsman's alibi, and another handgun. The intruder I met could not have been Mr. Portsman. Then who could it have been? The culprit rearranged my files twice, once before and once after the murder. Why? I guess I could do his alibi and another handgun, because who could it have been could be somebody else that has a gun. So I don't know if I'm missing anything here. Trudeau I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? No, man. Another handgun and files? What?
I've had those together this whole time. Oh! Okay! Yes, okay. I'll try mine. Got it. Okay, come on! There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Yeah, because that makes sense now, too. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back, Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great. So you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But, so, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean, 2? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. The exclamations in this one are very, like, the sound quality of them is kind of low compared to, like, the other ones. But, doesn't matter. It's just, it feels good to be able to play as Edgeworth. And my phone is mostly on silent, or else I probably would have done the same thing. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen Zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only, just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shells getting messed with up twice and the 2 bullets, it was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now, do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with it, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie, I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
I'm gonna get his ass. I swear to God, I'm gonna get his ass.
That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course. Now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
I don't know. Do I have any evidence for that?
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files, and it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
You mean the zero files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves were set up and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. We should be out there looking for that thief right now.
No. I don't give a fuck about the thief. Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything. After all, I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room.
But according to Mr. Faith's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered...
I don't have any, no.
You see, so I insist again that I was in my office the entire time.
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. A gun and a pendant.
Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim.
And why were you taking them to criminal affairs?
There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be to your satisfaction.
This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out.
Huh.
I can't expect you to know, can I?
Nope. But I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions.
Oh? Then let's see you deduce.
Jim waited for me to leave, and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier.
I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime.
What do I have? Believed to be the murder weapon, only 1 shot fired. Oh, wait. He brought me 2 items and a gun and a pendant. But he said Hang on. Because I think he said that the gun that he was brought was the murder weapon, but it's not.
A gun and a pendant.
Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Okay. Got him. What? Stay cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you're all flustered. The detective's right for a change. What? The gun is not...
Calm down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. 3 pieces. That's what it is. That's what it is. There we go.
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe, to get tripped up by simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me. No!
Got his ass.
Hey, what's this? He ate this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer.
So what, it was like a security tape of this area or what?
Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail for the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Oh, the KG8 incident. That's
a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over.
Oh! It's blood, isn't it?
Yes. And I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Fate's blood? No. You've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints?
Ugh.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible. Is he chewing it to bits? Oh, he ate it. Oh, he just consumed. Oh, he's dead. So he just died. He's dead now. Good riddance. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Face, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab tests on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Face's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Face's fingerprints as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my deepest apologies.
Oh, it was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? Yeah, Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
It's just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh? Well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy.
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. The person who stole this file. The other villain of that night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir?
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, innit? That great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office.
Isn't that the symbol of that one girl who kind of looks like she could be a ninja, but also a descendant of the Fae clan? Doesn't she have that symbol on her somewhere?
The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming.
Is this the game that she shows up in? Or is that just like something that happens later?
For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
Cause I don't see her silhouette there. Turnabout Airlines. Also, these cases are fast. She's in case 3. Damn. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Is that Franziska? Is that Franziska von Karma? I think that's Franziska von Karma. How old is she in this one? How old is she in this one? Franziska von Karma, sexy as hell. Whip me into shape, please. I yearn for the sting. 19.
19. Hell yeah. I'm allowed to be slightly horny. Okay. That's episode 2. I thought this game was gonna go faster, high key. Or I thought this game was gonna go slower. I thought it was gonna take as long as all the other games. But let's see. We'll go here. So we're gonna run this the same way as we do, you know, every other Ace Attorney game, even though it seems like it goes a lot faster. It's gonna be case by case. So this one I think should probably be done. Well, I don't know, because I could probably pack like 2 or 3 into one. Oh, last case takes forever? Okay, so. But, I mean, if this one was only like 2 hours, then the last one, if it takes forever, is it like 10 hours? Or is it like forever in regards to like all the other cases? Because this one I definitely blasted through quick and easy. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. More? More than 10 hours? Holy shit. Well, we'll see. I might be able to just kind of cram it all out in one session. I might split it like I did for Apollo Justice. That's so bizarre that the first case takes like 2 hours because there's not even court sessions. And then the last one just takes 10 hours of just investigations? That's insane. But, I mean, we'll get there when we get there, I guess. But if it's only investigations, I feel like it shouldn't be too difficult for me to get through, like, just, you know, kind of in one session. Because then I don't have to worry about, like, the court cases and all that stuff. It's a lot less talking, I feel like. But we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. And, I guess we'll play that one by ear. But, thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Sorry it took me so long to get fucking started. I was rendering the, I downloaded the VODs for, case, like, 4 or 5, Apollo Justice. I downloaded both parts, spliced them together, and then I had to render it. And it was like 9 hours and 51 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. But my fucking God, it took almost 22 hours to fully render. That's insanity. And because of that, I couldn't, like, stream at the same time, or else my computer would have probably exploded. Thanks, Eve. I hope you had fun, too. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. I know you were at work and everything, and I appreciate that. But, yeah, thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Appreciate the support, as always. We will be resuming this on Saturday. Saturday the 2nd of January. And then, thanks, Eve. I really do enjoy doing the voices, because it adds, you know, like a level to it that I think is just a lot of fun. Plus, it helps me practice the voice acting stuff. Then, yeah, so today, or this week, is going to be my last, I'm going to say this at the end of every stream for a while, until, you know, we get there. But, just kidding. Actually, this is the last time that I'm going to say it, actually, because it's the last time that I'm going to stream before the end. Anyway, this week at work is going to be my last week at work for a good second, probably like around a month or so, just because I have to complete a realtor's license class that I signed up for that's almost expiring, and then I'm going to start moving pretty soon too, into probably a new apartment if, you know, hopefully, ideally, knock on wood for me, pray for me. But yeah, so it's going to be my last week at work for a while. Then I'm off for probably like a month or so, maybe more if it's required, but we'll see about that. Other than that, starting next week, starting from Saturday the 2nd of January 2021, Happy New Year, everybody, by the way. I am going to probably try and stream a little bit every day. And since these cases are short, I can probably do it like that too. So I'll probably try and, you know, up the stream game a little bit just so that, you know, there's more streams, a little bit more consistency and stuff. But it's gonna be a slight change in pace. If you guys are in the Discord that I have, then you'll probably see a lot more pings and stuff, and then we can play it like that. And going from there forward, hopefully I'll be able to make something happen. And then if it works out and I can just make this, you know, a cool, you know, feasible thing, then by all fucking means, then I would love to do this for my, like, you know, career. But I don't know if a month is going to be enough time for me to make that happen. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But definitely, starting from basically the new year, there will be more streams for a good amount of time while I'm taking care of other things as well. So just that's going to be a pretty big change, so just expect that. And Kay, as for voicing characters on this one, because somebody else has asked me before to, you know, voice characters with me, but they also have not been in stream for a while, so I'm not super sure. But since that is your favorite character, I might just give you priority anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. I will ruminate. And that being said, Happy New Year, everybody. I'm not gonna be around to you know, talk to you guys during it, but just know that wherever you are, however you're celebrating, on Thursday night, I am with you in spirit. We are counting down to the new year, and hopefully the new year is better. This year was very hard on a lot of people for various reasons. You know, some people got sick, some people lost loved ones. And overall, just generally carried by a very deep-seated feeling of fear and anxiety. So I know that it was rough on a lot of people, and I hope that we all made it out okay. I hope that we will continue to make it out okay. And I hope that with the new year starting, we're able to, you know, set our fears of the virus aside once the vaccine becomes publicly available. And I hope that, you know, everyone is able to push through to the end and live a little bit more easily. So, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for all the support this year. And I greatly look forward to seeing you all again next year. And that being said, thank you for all the support today, this year, forever. And I will see you all in the new year on Saturday the 2nd. That's it. Happy New Year. I'm counting down with you guys in spirit as soon as every day passes. Just counting down with you guys. Thank you. Love you, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.